Hello, hello, Ederson Oliveira here for DNNHero.com, and I have here with me Scott Wilson. Scott, how are you?
Hey, good. How you doing?
Perfect, perfect. Good to see you again this month, and again, hopefully we can keep that as a routine. So let's get down to business here. I have not seen too many news over the past month. I was just reviewing some blog posts, and I could not find too many, I would say, interesting stuff there. But let me bring the one that I thought I could briefly mention. That it's a post from Peter Donker. He is one of the MVCs on the DNN ecosystem. He, on his blog post, he is talking about things that he would like to see different in the DNN authentication. And again, it's a post that talks more about, it's more of a wishful post instead of how to do stuff there. One thing that he mentioned, and he's very right, is that DNN should have as a default option in the authentication, the username to be their email address. You know, I mean, it doesn't really make sense to have someone creating a username on sites out there anymore. You know, I mean, you have email address, so email address should be a natural username. So again, he mentioned that he wished that by default DNN would have email address as being set as the username, and a few other things that he talks about, some problems that he had when trying to migrate a site to DNN, and the authentication problems that he had with Facebook authentication, with duplication of profiles. Again, an interesting post. Don't expect to get, I would say, how-tos out of that. It's just more of, I wish that DNN would be working like this. And then he posts his questions there. He posts his suggestions there, recommendations there, you know. And I think that links quite nicely to one of the videos that Scott will be posting this coming month. Scott, you're going to be mentioning that in a bit. I don't know if you have a chance. I don't think you had a chance to look at this post, but do you have any comments and observations on the DNN authentication, Scott?
No, actually, yeah, I did read it, and yeah, we've experienced a lot of the same things, and that's kind of one of the reasons why I wanted to put out this video coming up on DNN authentication, was because of all the issues that I see people talking about. How do I do this? As far as logging in or creating users or anything like that. I've seen so many posts about it, so I said, you know, it's about time for me to do one on this, and frankly, we've developed custom authentication providers for probably the last 3 clients we've had, just because they just can't use the DNN one. So, yeah.
Got it. Okay, good one. So again, the links to those posts will be posted in the video right below it, but right underneath it. The next one here that I just want to bring to our attention is that on May, we should be expecting another release of DNN. We should be expecting DNN 7.3. I'm not sure what kind of highlights are being brought on that version, but again, it's scheduled for May to have a new DNN version out there. Okay, another thing here, and I keep bringing this back, are the new blog that they have put together on the DNN store, and that comes from Beth Fireball. Again, she's the manager there, and she talks on this post. She talks about this feature of the store called the watch list. And that's a feature that I have never got to my attention, you know. And it's good that she brought that to our attention, because it's a way that you can monitor how a module, if a module has been updated with newer versions, if a module has dropped pricing, because sometimes we see vendors out there, we see sellers that they do those promotions, and if you add a module to your watch list, you're going to receive notifications if a module has dropped pricing, if a module has been getting any updates, any newer versions. But also, it's interesting that she mentioned also that that people request her quite a lot for a wish list. And I don't think that a watch list is the same thing as a wish list. A watch list are modules that exist, that you see there, and you want to get news about them. Now, a wish list, it sounds to me like a very interesting potential feature for the store, because that would give us as users the a medium, a place to post what we wish that exists in the DNN ecosystem. Let's say it's a module that will do, I don't know, X, Y, and Z, and I could not find. I think it's useful. So people could potentially, look at this list and maybe vote things up, vote things down. Sellers could see this list as a potential way for them to come up with newer modules. Now, again, I'm talking about this wish list which does not exist. So what I'm enticing people, what I'm suggesting is that let's put some pressure there and maybe let's see if DNN can put some sort of a wish list there. I think it would be a great addition to the store. I mean, any pointers on that, Scott?
No, I mean, it sounds like it'd be great for vendors because then we can figure out, well, what's needed in the marketplace rather than trying to guess.
Right, exactly. I mean, I don't know what is the process that vendors out there go through when they want to come up with new modules. I'm not sure. I mean, maybe that's their clients that request that, but I mean, I think that would be beneficial from both sides, from the seller's point of view and from the from the buyer's point of view too. But, and again, video link, the link to this post is below here as well. I want to have a segment here on this on this Talking Heads show of us that gives a shout out to maybe a vendor that is doing something nice in the DNN store, maybe a particular module that caught our attention, maybe a skin that caught our attention. And I watch very closely what goes on the DNN store, and at least from my point of view, I want to give a shout out today to DNN Sharp. DNN Sharp is run by a guy called Bodan Litusko. Bodan. Sorry if I
your guess is as good as mine.
but we have exchanged a few emails before because I have reviewed some of their modules. Bottom line is that DNN Sharp, they have a great set of modules, and not only that, but their support is just great. I mean, I had to use their support a couple of times. They were very responsive, and I just want to bring a few modules from them that really grabbed my attention. One is, and I've worked with them, one is Search Boost. It's just a way that you can improve the default DNN search. Very great module, and you can customize the search however you want. You can add additional tables to the search. Very good module. One thing that I have to say is that their modules, they are usually more inclined towards the technical audience. So it's usually, maybe you're not a developer, programmer, but again, it's more so inclined to that kind of audience. It's not just modules that you drop out there and you just, go using them without some sort of a learning curve. You need some sort of a learning curve on their modules, but again, Search Boost is a great one. I've used also another one called the URL Adapter, which is just it's in a way it's a competitor of that module from Bruce. Ifinity, exactly.
Infinity.
It's a competitor from with Ifinity. Again, a great module as well. I have used Sharper Scheduler, which is a test scheduler that you can implement on your website. My Tokens, a recent one called Action Grids, which is a fancy, nice way to display data on the site. But again, going to the technical side, maybe you need a little bit of SQL experience. Maybe you need to know some table names to do something nice there. So again, a little bit more geared towards the technical audience, but nevertheless, very great set of modules. Any modules that you'd like to shout out? I mean, maybe PackFlash, maybe something like that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I work for Blue Bolt, which is the sister company with PackFlash. So we use that quite a bit on all of our anything have to do with publishing, right? So which is the majority of the when we implement for clients, it has to do we do that. We're actually at the last conference we're starting another brand called Bravo Squared. I don't know if you saw that. So yeah, we're still developing, but we've got actually we have a search product too. It's a little bit different than the one which I've used, the DNN Sharp Search Boost. It's a little bit different than that. It's more geared toward enterprise, but it's pretty cool. And we're also the content staging product, which I think everyone's going to need because that's a big issue as well.
Very true, very true.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So to keep things going here, now I want to give a shout out to my buddy Scott. Scott, I have to tell you, I have been using your videos for me to learn Entity Framework. And let me say, I'm a developer too, and I have always used forever now the traditional DAO model, the very traditional one. And I said, you know what? My next project, I'm gonna try Entity Framework, and I'm gonna base my my new module on what Scott produced there for DNN Hero. And I mean, a great companion. It has helped me quite a lot to understand how to use Entity Framework as a way to access data on DNN. Now, I want to bring this to Scott. Scott, what's your preferred method of data access? I mean, what do you use whenever you have a new client? Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, we have a big project we're doing right now, and we have been using, actually, a buddy of mine, James McKee, who works at Blue Bolt. He developed an interesting code generation template, which will actually pull, given the database, it'll actually automatically create both the DAO2 entities and controllers just for you. Just generate all that code.
Got it.
And so we've been using the DAO2, the Petapoco stuff, but we use it in conjunction with Link, to do a lot of things. But I mean, obviously where it's weak is relational type things. We've had people on our board asking about that, which Entity Framework's a little bit better at. I think it was one of the questions you were asking me, right?
Yes,
was about how to do the proper way to an Entity Framework. Well, many relationship is you almost have to code it by hand and figure out how to join these entities together. But yeah, we've been doing a lot of that. We've been using the DAO2 quite a bit, Link to SQL and a lot of Link. So if you've got like two DAO2 models. And if you do need to join in table, there's stuff you can do in Link to do an in-memory join of that data, as long as you've got the data filtered properly. So yeah, that's been working for us so far.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. I took the time to get more in depth with Entity Framework, and I'm really enjoying the process of dealing with the database from a more abstracted point of view. So I'm really loving that.
Good.
Okay. Perfect. So let's go down here. Oh, by the way, let me go back to you, Scott. You're mentioning about the a potential day of DNN on your hometown.
Yeah. So a little bit of gossip here. I was on the last Chicago user group meeting. You can actually see all the recordings for that on the website if you go to chicagodnn.org. And what we do is we do a virtual meeting as well, and we record it because we're so spread out over here, our user group. It's not like we're in some smaller city where, I mean, someone in our Chicago user group could be about 75 miles away and still be in the Chicago area.
I see.
So yeah, and so you can go to Chicago DNN and check that out. But the gossip and we started this gossip on purpose. After the late last year, after the October conference in Florida, we were like, we've been wanting to do a conference in the Midwest. We weren't even set on Chicago. We wanted to do a Midwest one because there's a lot of companies out in the Midwest. There's several in St. Louis, and you have Iowa, and lots of different companies around here. And so yeah, we've been looking to do that, and we were wanting to do it in the spring. Obviously, spring's come, and that's not going to happen. But now the rumor is we're going to do it in the fall. We're still planning on doing it. We're still trying to move on it. We're evaluating facilities right now, and so that's where we're at. Also gaining some just talking to the local companies around in the Midwest about it and seeing what their interest is, and there is interest because. As far as I know, DNN is not even planning on doing a conference this year.
Really?
As far as I know, no one's mentioned anything, and we've asked and nothing. So the assumption is no one else is going to do any kind of conference this year. So in the fall, we want to at least do some sort of deep day, like a day of DNN, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. So keep us posted there, okay?
I will.
And again, I wish if there's anything that I could do, I mean, count on me. But yeah, keep us posted on that.
Right.
Perfect. Okay. So to finalize, we're just gonna review a little bit of the videos that we may have done, or the videos that you're gonna be producing for the month of May. From my side, just want to quickly mention that I've just posted a video on how to integrate the Open Graph protocol on DNN, and what that really boils down to is the fact that you can control when users are sharing, or even yourself is sharing a link from your site in a social network like Facebook or Google+. Whenever you share there, those sites, they extract information from those pages, and sometimes it does extract the right information that you wish that they would extract. Maybe you want to customize the image that shows up there. Maybe it's a title. Maybe it's a description that you want to customize. So that's where the Open Graph comes in place. Is that you can customize those aspects of what Facebook will bring whenever people are sharing links to your site. So I've just posted this video last week. Next video that I'm planning to post on May is about mobile, about skins, about taking a very pragmatic approach, a very concrete approach to the mobile, the different options there. I'm going through a big project right now that we are using a strategy to do mobile, which is not that of a responsive type of design. It's more of a very concrete implementation. There's a site, the site is already there. We don't need to mess around with the skin that is there. Let's just create a mobile version of that, and how can we put together this? And that's what I'll be doing on this coming May. Scott, you have done the Advanced Razor development video. What is that video about? I mean, tell me a little bit.
We talked about it a little bit last time. It's going to be an advanced razor development.
Got it. But what types of advancements are those? I mean,
yeah. So the one I think I mentioned this in the last month is one of the videos I'm going to do an actual CRUD application using the razor template.
Got it.
So just like we've done in previous tutorials where we develop that item application where you can add, delete, update, and select a list of items. I'm implementing that in Razor just to show you it can be done.
Got it.
And then the other one, of course, and this is the one I think that's the bigger one, is how to combine Razor with back-end compiled code. And I think we mentioned this a little bit last time.
Got it.
There was actually a question on the Q&A in DNNsoftware.com about that. So I think people have interest in learning how to if they've already got other modules and other assemblies already in this, how can they quickly pull that out just using a quick Razor module?
Got it. And the next one that you're coming up is about authentication. Very interesting link with the authentication post that I saw from Peter Dunker. So what is that about, the authentication?
Yeah, like I mentioned, we've been doing a lot of custom authentication providers for our client because there's always one little thing that the DNN one can't do, or maybe it's a big thing that it can't do. So I'm going to be first starting out with explaining how the DNN authentication works. Some people don't realize, I mean, yeah, there's a login module and a registration, but how does it actually work? If you really wanted to customize it, how could you do that? And then two, we're going to be building a custom authentication provider that's completely custom where not only how you look up your username and password is externalized, which is very important with a lot of companies, right? Because companies don't want to have a bunch of portals out there that you have all these different passwords to. You can integrate with your internal company's LDAP or whatever single sign-on mechanism that they want to use. And so we'll talk about that. We'll also talk about some techniques for doing single sign-on, for actual automated sign-in, which is another sticking point. I don't think Peter even mentioned that in his article, but that's been a big sticking point where you have a client that has multiple portals and when you log into one, it should log in. You should be able to log into all the rest of them.
Got it.
Not always as easy as it seems. So I'll be covering how to do that, like whether it's child domains or parent domains, and the different techniques of doing single sign-on.
Perfect, perfect. Okay, very good, very good. So that's what you guys can expect for the coming month. Again, send us your comments, send us your notes if what you like, what you don't like, if you hate, if you love it, if you don't care. And again, we can always add whatever your comments are to our monthly video.
Or any new ideas, like you said, on training or whatever. One of the things I was kicking around was maybe it's something if people are interested in, would they like for us to maybe provide some sort of, we do training obviously, but would they be interested in us providing any kind of like questionnaire or testing at the end of the training, and maybe that's something they'd be interested in doing.
Got it. That's a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about that offline.
Yeah, we will. We will. But any other ideas that are crazy? Like, what's funny is that came to me because there was we talked about Twitter last time. It came to me in a tweet. I don't know if people heard about this. The codebabes.com. Did you hear about that?
Oh yeah, yes.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So that was all over my Twitter. So I was like, what is this? Well, it's sexy female instructors teaching about programming techniques. And I thought, oh my gosh, okay, this is a threat to DNN Hero, but actually all they're doing is HTML and PHP, so they haven't gotten into .NET Nuke yet.
Got it.
But what's interesting, what really was interesting was that at the end of your training, you take a quiz, and each time you get a question right, a piece of clothing comes off of your instructor.
You're not suggesting that you're going to do that, are you?
And I thought, wow. Well, I thought I thought it was interesting, the testing part of it. I don't think anybody on DNN Hero, any of our users, have any interest in seeing us taking off our clothes. But I thought the testing was an interesting aspect. So, and that's what brought it to my mind, and I thought that was pretty funny.
Got it. Okay. Good one. Anything else?
No, I think that's it. Yeah, but like I said, please give us suggestions. What do you want to see training? What do you want us, anything else that'll help us, our users achieve their goals.
Perfect. Okay, guys, that's it. That's it for the news of the month. Again, interact, keep posting, and that's it. Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.